said I'd make a comparison between the different cyclone separators that I have. I've already made a video on the new Record Power Defender 55 litre interceptor, which performed exceptionally well. It's not actually a helical spiral inside or a teen baffle. It's just a straight cylindrical drum with a side inlet port, which directs the airflow around the circumference of the drum, the steel drum, and that worked really effectively. I was able to separate about 54 litres out of 55 litres of debris that I extracted from this drum here and another bucket. Today I'm going to try the same experiment, but with the Oneida Air Systems Super Dust Deputy. This is the XL version, so it's got a 6-inch and 5-inch ports, 6-inch outlet to the extractor, and a 5-inch inlet into the Dust Deputy Cyclone. I've converted both of those down to 4-inch 100mm ducting, so it's the same diameter ducting being used, same length of ducting being used, and also my CamVac dual motor 2 kilowatt in the corner cabinet. So that's out of sight, but it's the same setup. You can see the Defender in the front of the cabinet here, but that's disconnected from use at the moment. So using my Alexa skill to control the CamVac, let's get going and see how we do with the first 40 litres of debris. Alexa, eat my dust. So that's both motors running. Alexa, don't eat my dust. Okay, so that's evacuated all 40 litres of debris, and we'll see how it's performed. Okay, that bucket is full to the brim. Okay, now it looks like I've got about half a litre again of debris that's made it into the CamVac. So that's pretty much identical to performance to the Defender with the first 40 litres. I got about 39.5 into the Defender bucket and about half a litre into the CamVac. So I'd say at this point they're on a par with each other and really quite effective. I don't have a larger receptacle on the Dust Deputy, so really I'm just going to do the 40 litre test and leave it at that. But they have performed on a par, and I think, you know, as a well recognized separator that's based around the Cyclone design, I'm really impressed by how my CamVac Defender is performing. So I'll leave you with that. Look forward to seeing your comments and observations. Next up, I'm going to try the Vevor transparent 100mm Cyclone, and I'll also try one of the conventional trash can style separator kits. Okay, I'm back with the trash can style separator. It's effectively two ports in the lid of a large drum. Could be a trash can or in this case is a food grade shipping drum, and one port is pointed in this direction, that's the inlet, and one port's pointed in this direction, that's the outlet. So you end up with a cyclonic effect of the air going around the circumference of the drum. Not too dissimilar from the CamVac Defender approach, but my experience previously is that this hasn't worked that effectively. But we'll see how it performs today. So I've got the same drum with 40 litres of oak chips and sawdust, the same 100mm hose, same length. I've removed the CamVac Defender from the cabinet. It wasn't connected previously, so we just got the dual motor CamVac still in here, and we'll see how this one performs. I am making off camera some precise measurements of the amount of debris in this bucket. It's 40 litres each time. I'm measuring that with a 5 litre calibrated jug, and I'm also measuring the amount of debris that makes it through into the CamVac itself. So I'll give those results at the end in detail. I've been talking in approximation so far as I've looked in, and but I've measured precisely off camera. So Alexa, eat my dust. Alexa, don't eat my dust. Okay, so that's 40 litres gone from the drum there, and I'll see how it's performed, at least in the extraction into this drum. And it's done fairly well. It's done better than it has in the past for me, so we'll see how that translates into what's made it into the CamVac itself. Okay, that's considerably more, so I'll do a measurement of that precisely and I'll give you the result, but I'm going to guess maybe 5 litres. Okay, so here we are with the final test. This is the Vevor 100mm 4-inch transparent cyclone separator. It cost me about £50 on Amazon, I believe. Actually, I also saw it on AliExpress, but I could never get availability of stock on there. But 50 UK pounds sterling. I've got the same setup. I've got 40 litres of the oak chippings here. I've put them in the blue barrel this time because I'm using that fibre barrel as the receptacle for the Vevor. I had to cut a 100mm hole in the top of the lid, so I've sacrificed this one for this drum for that test. We'll see how it goes. Again, same lengths of hose, 100mm to extract into the Vevor Cyclone, and coming out of the Vevor into the CamVac with the dual motors. And I've taken the Defender again out of the cabinet just so it's easy to access. I have been measuring the amount of the volume of chips that have made it through into the CamVac each time, doing that precisely off camera, and I'll give you those results at the end. But let's see how this one performs. Again, 40 litres is the starting volume in this blue container here. Alexa, eat my dust. Oh, that's quite cool. It's a satisfying being able to see the cyclone in effect, but what I'm seeing here is I need to take my time or the hopper will fill up. Alexa, don't eat my dust. Well, I don't know about you, but I found that really quite satisfying to be able to see the cyclone effect in action. The one thing I did notice is that, this is a bit of an unfair test. It's equal between each of the separators. But in real woodworking use, I think even on something that produces a lot of chips like the jointer thicknesser, you're not going to get that sort of volume going through all at once. But so, slight limitation in that there's a 100 mm outlet at the bottom of this separator, and that was a point of constriction. But as soon as I slowed down the intake of chippings, it quickly cleared any blockage, and it didn't actually block; it just was filling up. So, that's really quite interesting. So let's have a look here at the drum. See how that's done. Okay. So this is not so impressive. I was hoping it would be. So I'd say I've got about 20 litres of chips in this drum. It was, remember this is a 40-litre drum. It was full. So I'm anticipating we're going to find about 40 litres in the CamVac. Yeah, and sure enough, this is about I would say 20 litres in the CamVac. So unfortunately, as much as I wanted the Vevor to work well, because I kind of fancied the idea of hanging on to this and having a transparent cyclone to use, really it's only separated about 50% of the chippings and dust. So I'll measure it precisely and I'll come back to you with the exact results. The results are in. You'll recollect that I started with the new Record Power Defender 55-litre Interceptor. This is a non-helical spiral, non-teen baffle drum with a side inlet and effectively a centrifugal airflow around the circumference of the barrel, with the heavier debris falling down, and the outlet on the top. It's got the bayonet connectors that I've talked about. This one performed really well. I moved on to the industry classic, the Oneida Air Systems Super Dust Deputy. This is the XL version, so I've got it modified or using it with 100mm 4-inch inlet and outlet, but it can have a 5-inch 125mm inlet and a 6-inch 150mm outlet. But for fairness of comparison, I've used 100mm 4-inch on all my tests, and the ducting the same. This has a 150mm 6-inch outlet at the bottom of the cone, and I think that's important in the comparison with the Vevor Systems transparent separator that we looked at. Then I had a look at the dust trash can lid style separator kit. This one I got from Axminster Tools in the UK. I believe I paid somewhere around £30 sterling for this. Effectively, there's an inlet port and an outlet port. They're in opposing directions, and they cause the airflow to go around the circumference of the drum, not too dissimilar to the Record Power Defender. And but both inlet and outlet are in the top of the lid. I used in this case a food grade shipping barrel of decent size, so it's up to you what size container you put it on. And then last but not least, I looked at the Vevor 100mm transparent dust separator Cyclone. So it actually has a helical spiral in here, forces that airflow to take on the cyclone effect. And it has a 100mm outlet, and I think this is an important consideration in at least the way I conducted the tests. So the test was, in each case, 40 litres of oak chippings and dust taken from my jointer thicknesser in a drum and sucked out in fairly short order. So not really a fair comparison with how the tools would actually work and the volume of chips that would come out of a tool in normal use, but you know, really quite a high flow rate. So looking at it in reverse order, unfortunately, and I think this may be due to the high inflow of chips causing a backup in the hopper here in the cyclone cone. This Vevor performed the worst. It only separated about 18 litres of the 40 litres of chippings, and 22 litres made it into the CamVac. The next runner-up by but much better performance was the trash can lid style separator kit. This one managed to separate 37 litres from the 40, with only 3 litres making it into the CamVac. The Oneida Air Systems Super Dust Deputy did very well, performed very well as you'd expect. It managed to separate 38 litres of the 40 litres of chips and dust, with just 2 litres making it into the CamVac itself. I think the important difference between this cyclone and the Vevor is the outlet size. So 150 millimeter diameter outlet compared to a 100 millimeter diameter outlet on the Vevor. So, you know, pi r squared, the area of the outlet on the Oneida is more than double that of the Vevor. And I think with the volume of chips that I was extracting in this test, a little bit of an unfair overload on the Vevor. But anyway, if it were to happen that you had a high volume of chips coming in, you know, that's how it performs. So fair comparison, at least, all of them, I extracted the chips at the same rate. And by far the best performance, I'm pleased to say, was from the £140 UK sterling Record Power Defender Interceptor. It managed to separate 39.5 litres of 40 litres of chips, with only half a litre making it into the CamVac. I did, as you saw in another video, go on to extract another 15 litres, and all told it was able to extract 53.5 litres out of 55 litres, with only 1.5 litres making it into the CamVac. But that's, you know, that's, I didn't try that 55 litre test with any of the others. So once again, of the 40 litres, the Record Power Defender separated 39.5 litres. The Oneida Super Dust Deputy separated 38 litres. The trash can lid sort of separator kit, this one from Axminster, but you can get them from Amazon and AliExpress, etc. It's quite commonly available. Separated 37 litres. And unfortunately, the Vevor, perhaps due to the volume of chips that I was extracting and its smaller port at the bottom, only managed to separate 18 of the 40 litres of chips. So there you have it. I really wanted the Vevor to do well because I quite like the design. I like being able to see the chips going. I have put my money on the Record Power Defender in terms of the design of my dust extraction system in the shop, and integrated that into my corner cabinet along with the CamVac. So I'm really pleased that that works so well. I had tried it initially and not had such a good result, but you know, on subsequent tests, and I've done many now, it's performed really well. So I hope you found this useful. It was a bit of fun doing the comparison. It's a genuine, I bought all of these separators myself when I was trying to think about what I was going to use for my dust separation in the shop. So I bought them all with my own money. I'll be selling the ones that didn't perform so well on eBay now. Get rid of them. I don't have the space to store all of that. And I will be looking forward to many years of use with my Defender Interceptor. Talk to you soon.